Hi, Ben here from 498 Nerf, and this is Mod Potential, where we take a look at not what a blaster is, but what a blaster could become. And today we're going to take a look at the Modulus ECS-10. The Modulus ECS-10, it was the first blaster in the Modulus line to come out. It's an electric blaster, it's a flywheel blaster, and again that also gets us into what is possible and what the potential out of this blaster is. So the first thing to note, if you look down, the trigger mechanism is very similar to other semi-automatic electric flywheel blasters. You've got your rev trigger, you've got your main trigger that pushes the dart into the flywheels, and that mechanism is very similar to a Strife, to the Desolator that we talked about previously. It is just a mechanism that's tried and true. And so from that means there's space down in here. There's a decent amount of space to put micro switch. It's a little smaller than because of the cutouts, but there's plenty of space to do it and put the micro switch down here that you need. And that gives you a lot of options as far as being able to run a lot more current upgrade and everything along those. The second aspect we want to look at is the flywheels themselves. And again, this is a flywheel blaster, so you've got in this area of the blaster, you've got a flywheel cage. And it's pretty standard. The configuration is slightly different from a cage standpoint. The motor gap, the flywheel gap is the same. It takes the same 130 type motors. So you can do a lot of the standard flywheel upgrades. You can do worker flywheels. You can do a lot of different things with that. It will accept a brass barrel. So there's a lot of potential with that. However, if we look at the front of this blaster, beyond the flywheel cage, you've got a lot of space here. And if you look at it on a profile on the side, you can also see the area up and through there. The basic area of that is also pretty wide from a side-to-side stamp. So you've got a lot of space here in the front, but you've also got a lot of width within that space. And what that allows you to do is, if you want to go and build a multi-stage flywheel blaster, the Modulus, it has tons of room, has tons of potential to do this. There's plenty of room for a second, even a third stage that puts up there. The hammerhead that I did a few months back, I actually used Modulus in the core of that and put 1, 2, 3 flywheel stages. Plenty of space in here. You had to do you had to do some body work, had to do some shell work on it, but the space and the shell of it is there. So from a modification perspective, and you want to do a multi-stage setup, the Modulus offers tremendous performance. And you do the multi-stage setup because you get faster velocities coming out. On a 2-stage, you top out in the 160s. On a 3-stage, you top out in the 190s, close to 200. So you could actually get this thing up to the 180, 200 FPS range by adding those additional flywheels in here. Now, the third aspect of this blaster we want to take a look at is the battery tray down here on the bottom. The battery tray is removable. There's tabs up in here, and because it slots, it ends up being almost the perfect size for a largish type LiPo. You can get a 3S, you can get a 4S, you can get a really nice big beefy LiPo down in here because it's got plenty of space. It's custom fit. And to get some of the wider, some of the fatter LiPos down in here, you have to carve out some of the bottom down here of this battery cover tray. But you have the option, you have the potential to put a very beefy, a very hefty LiPo down in here. So overall, this blaster, when you take into consideration the fact that you can get 2, 3-stage, you can do a quadulus, you can do 3 stages of flywheels, and then add on to it the space and the ability to put lots of just a big beefy LiPo down into the bottom, this gives you a tremendous amount of modification potential in this blaster. So I'm going to give this blaster 5 out of 5 couche darts for modification potential, highest possible rating. Again, the reason behind that is you can do multi-stage very well. It takes to multi-stage well, and it takes to really nice beefy LiPos as well. So anyways, this has been Mod Potential on the Modulus ECS-10. Thanks for watching.